Who am I? I'm a killer. I move from town to town, working in kitchens and fixing up old houses, which I sell for a modest profit every year or two. I involve myself in the community just enough to not seem antisocial, and of course I give to every charity and organization that asks, just enough to let them know I care. This is really important. I don't smoke, drink, gamble, use drugs, hire prostitutes. I never use profanity, and I have no tattoos. I'm just a hard-working, honest guy, a guy you can count on 364 days a year. But that brings us to that one special day, doesn't it? That one day when I rid the world of the most worthless and annoying creature of all, the teenager. However, just last year, beautiful Jamie, the homecoming queen, almost brought the curtain down on my little shop of horrors. Yes, she did. I was living in a nice little town of about 10,000 souls, hard-working, church-going phonies, breeding one beautiful kid after the other. Not the smartest bunch. I had bought and was well into fixing up an old Victorian built in 1905, sat on half an acre. Little small for my lifestyle, but backed up to a heavily forested area that had the most incredible basement. For one engaged in things like I. Some 50 years earlier, the town's police chief had been the resident of this fine abode, and he'd come across a jail cell from the 1860s, which he purchased and then installed in the basement. When I first toured the home, I asked the realtor, a congenial older gal, working well into her 70s, why would anyone put such a strange thing in their basement? Of course, in my mind, I had some ideas. Had this house had another dweller with my own proclivities, one who carried a badge? The realtor gal assured me, without hesitation, the former sheriff, who she remembered as a child, was a very nice man and well-known collector of all antiquities related to law enforcement. She went on to say that he was a good man, a real lawman, the likes of which they do not make anymore. I remember the delightful moment we shared when I turned to her and said, "It's perfect. Where do I sign?" 1,000 parents must have escorted their little ones through my not-so-amateur house of horrors that night a year ago. In the front, down the hall, get scared, have a ball, and then take some candy before going out the back door, but for the ones that will be nevermore. Beautiful Jamie walked hand in hand with her little sister down the hall, the last to be allowed through the front gate. The trapdoor opened, and they fell quite hard onto the floor of the jail cell below. "Good blah," I said to the last of the living to leave out the side yard. They were all so happy to be so scared. At least 10 parents praised me for having gone all out for the occasion. One said, "I didn't know you had it in you," to which I replied, "Who really knows what lurks in the depths of another?" She laughed and touched my shoulder. I had to fight off an almost overwhelming desire to bend her wrist back and rip her arm out of its shoulder socket. "Oh, you really know how to stay in character," she said. I locked up and descended into the basement. There in the cell were my girls. The little one, dressed like a princess, was nothing more than an appetizer to me. I'll spare you a detailed description of the crying, begging, and screaming. Suffice it to say, there was an abundance. But the most remarkable thing happened as I carried the princess towards the large barrel of acid I intended to submerge her in. Rather than try to stop me, and mind you, I made it very clear my intention, Jamie made a run for it. And no, I hadn't locked the cell door because I had imagined her trying to prevent the dissolving of the little princess, her efforts being the anticipated enjoyable crux of the matter. Anyway, with half a princess in a vat of acid, howling like Pagliacci's wife after being stabbed on stage, I had to let go and run down Big Sister, who, while lacking devotion to the little princess, had the speed of a jackrabbit. Jamie pulled furiously at the kitchen door. "La commedia è finita," I said to her. "What?" she replied. "The comedy is over." To her credit, she went for a substantial kitchen knife and lunged at me with murderous intent. I usually step to the side when this happens, right hand to the right wrist, causing knife to release, left hand to the back of neck, driving face into kitchen table. Let the party begin. All you had to do, Jamie, was turn the deadbolt to the right, and you would have been outside screaming at the top of your lungs. Who knows where things might have gone from there? It pained me to move from this place. Great memories, but move I did. So many people asked me to stay. I had been such a rock of stability in their time of trouble after the disappearance, but they understood. A man in my profession has to go where the work is at. I've been counting the days, the hours, the minutes, the seconds. It's almost here. Do you feel fear? You should.